Crews have spent the past 5 years working to clean up and remove potentially harmful sediment from the old power plant and landfill that once stood here on Harbor Island. I spoke with the city's project management director, and he told me that they're just starting one of the final cleanup stages. It says they could soon start the process and looking at what comes next for the site.
It's a big, complex problem underneath these soils, and so it takes a little bit of time.
The State Department of Environment, Great Lakes and Energy approved a new plan in early July, which will allow crews to move the project forward. It'll verify where the highest levels of contamination are located. Then, using that data, crews will be able to determine what kind of development could work at the site.
So that plan is to get a few more pieces of data that we need to find where the edges of all the contamination are. But it's also to investigate how are we going to remediate this island.
Grand Haven's project management director, Derek Gatos, told me that they could start having the discussion to determine what comes next as soon as March of next year.
We had some open houses, we had some surveys, and the vast majority of them really wanted to be natural and something, whether it's a nature park or a developed park, but something recreational, something the public can enjoy.
Open houses and surveys conducted in early 2024 showed most respondents leaning towards turning the space into a new park and recreational area. One Grand Haven resident, Jim Hagan, has been urging city officials to include solar panels in that plan.
What was presented was community solar with native perennials.
It could cost the city anywhere between $40 and $80 million to remediate the island. Hagan tells me taking advantage of federal incentives that are soon set to expire will save the city money on the project.
The incentives are very attractive. It varies from like 30% to 50% on this project.
Gatos says the city is working with federal leaders to secure funding for the project in next year's fiscal budget. He adds they will be working with the public next year to determine what comes next.
Are we still at the worst case? Maybe not, but we don't know that until we start actually getting into what are the real options, and that's what's going to happen over the next 9 months.
In Grand Haven, Zachariah Wheaton, Fox 17 News.